Greetings, everyone. It's Koli Aziza with Mariama Learning, where we support early learners' needs. You haven't heard from me for a bit, and that's because I've been extremely busy with a lot of other projects and also a bit distracted by all the things that are going on in the world, which really has prompted me to make sure that I come back on and deliver this message today. I am going to continue this channel no matter what. I may not always be on because I don't have thousands of followers that are waiting on bated breath for me to come on, but I do want to have the videos accessible to families and even educators who may want to look at them when needed. Early learning is where it's at. Early learners are, I'm dedicated to supporting early learners and their families. It's just such a critical time in life when the brain is at its optimum and we can just gather so much information and make learning, create an environment where learning becomes something that young people want to do for the rest of their life. That they see the world, as Zora Neale Hurston said, as their oyster, and they can do anything. And so that is the time. I mean, it can happen later on, but if you can get a human to really lock in and understand that learning is everything and that we're constantly growing, we're always growing and improving and becoming our best selves, I think that is just a wonderful thing to do. And so I'm committed to that. And so I may not have a video out once a month, once a week, but I will continue to do videos and to continue the channel, Mariama Learning channel on YouTube. So I just wanted to pop in today because you hadn't seen me in a while, but I wanted to say that I do know, and I think we need to be honest about the fact that the American public school system really is going to have to reinvent itself. I don't think, and I think it's obvious to so many of us that we can't continue the way we're going, but we do need a learning spaces and a learning environments that are open and free to our citizens. I mean, I don't want to live anywhere where that isn't happening. I don't think that, everyone should have to go to private school. Certainly, if you want to homeschool your children, I think that's a great option. But we should also have a public school system in this country that has a standard and that, you're not going to one school. The schools in one state are fantastic and the schools in another state are horrible. Or if we don't even have to talk states, right? State to state, we can say within a state, there are great schools. And then you go to another part of the state, it's horrible. Or we could even talk about towns or cities. We shouldn't have one school in a city that is fantastic and then another school in the city that's terrible, or the same thing with a smaller town. We need to, and I know this is a big, vast country, but we need to definitely create some sort of standard where our children we're dedicating some time to really inventing and creating environments that can create optimum learning. What I'm seeing now is that it's just not happening. And so my understanding as I look around the world and understand how advanced we are with research on how human beings learn and what kind of environments you need to create to have human beings open to learning. We've done the research. We can continue to research, but we've done so much research about how important music is, and movement, and visual art, and quiet. Time for humans to stop and be still. We have done research on how being in the environment outside is good for the brain. We know this. Being stuck in a school all day in four walls in one room and going from room to room and never going outside, all of that really is not conducive to a human really getting the best out of education. So all those things need to be a part of how we reinvent our schools, restructure our schools, or just start all over again. We could say, let's just start all over again. And I know it's going to take time. I may not even be on the planet anymore. But I think it's extremely important that we have these discussions and that we start implementing what needs to be implemented in the schools. We need yoga in the schools. We need dance. We need music. We need visual art, and not in magnet schools, not just in art schools. The children need to be able to go outside more. They need to be able to, and not just for sports, no, just outside, just for a walk if there is, land around the school where they can take in the environment. You can incorporate all of that into what you're learning. And we've done the research is there. This is not rocket science. And so because I know that the research is there for all of that, and there's probably things that I'm not even mentioning, then it shows me, because the research is there, that those that are in place and those that have the power to change these things, they don't really want to change it, because if they did, the research is there. It doesn't take rocket science. Now, how to implement it may be a little bit more difficult across the nation and to get folks on one accord, right? Okay, but they're still doable. If you can send somebody to the moon, you certainly can do this with our species on this planet. You can make it so that everybody wants to learn, and that we just don't have some that want to learn, that everybody wants to learn. And or enjoys being in the space that they're learning in. Because listen, if you don't enjoy the space that you're learning, you're not going to want to learn. If I don't want to be there. The other piece is the social emotional wellness, which all of that, helps with social emotional wellness. And we definitely address that in early childhood a lot more than we do as the children get older. There's a disconnect. And we talked about this when I was actually teaching and I worked in the teachers union, that there was definitely a disconnect from early childhood and the emphasis on social emotional wellness and social emotional support, the support that we provide for young people in that area, and that it is really in many instances in early childhood in the curriculum. But as they move out of early childhood into elementary school, and then of course junior high and high school, we just don't have it. And it needs to play a bigger part, that social emotional wellness and social emotional support, not as a fixer, not as once everything falls apart, we're coming in to help you. No, this is just what we do. This is just a part of what we do. Just like, we have the music, we have the dance, we have the yoga, we have the everything that we need. Then people talk money, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to do certain things if you have the people with the skill set to implement it. So that's where I'm at. And I want as that to be that focus on rebuilding and making things better. My good friend Khadijah Ali Coleman wrote a play called Building Beautiful. And another friend of mine has a theater company called Building Better People Productions. So you can put all of that together. She says Khadijah has Building Beautiful and Lynn has Building Better People Productions. And so I just say Building Beautiful Better. But we want to create And I want to be a part of the creation of new, innovative learning spaces for our young people. And so I just want you to think about that. And if you're interested in that, how you can play a part. I'm still trying to figure out what my part will be, but my experience has been that when I talk about things, put it out there in the universe, stuff happens. And our children deserve better. And, we can make it happen. So this is Koli Aziza with Mariama Learning, where we support early learners' needs. And I'll be back soon. All right? Take care.